How do you make a joke about a cocktail whose name is Joke? Hello and welcome to Intoxicated Masculinity. If it's Wednesday, we have a cocktail video coming at you, and today we are driving through summer cocktails in exactly the way you should not be driving if you have been drinking a bunch of summer cocktails. Today we are going to do a cocktail which is sort of infamous. It is the basic of basic cocktails. It is of course, the Sex on the Beach. It is apparently originally developed in the early 1980s. Some people think it's maybe a combination of the Cape Codder and the Fuzzy Navel, just because of the ingredients. I'm not totally sure if that's true. We're going to do two versions of it. I'm going to sort of do the basic version and then the sort of optional, slightly more complicated version. We'll see which one we like better. Again, I don't have the exact date or name of the person that created the cocktail, but again, it is very early 1980s. And I mean, who remembers the 1980s, right? Because we're all so young. Okay, we're back and we have ingredients, and as I said, we are going to do two versions of this cocktail. In this case, we are going to sort of do the basic version on my left, and we are going to do the sort of more extra version on my right. And then we'll kind of see which one we like the best. One thing to note here is these are two sets of ratios. There are many, many sets of ratios that exist for this cocktail. If you like it in a slightly different ratio, then more power to you. You have my permission to make this cocktail any way you can. But I sort of wanted to compare basic and extra, and I thought that these particular ratios were pretty good to express that. So, starting off, going with our basic, we are just going to do 1 ounce of vodka. And for our extra, we are going to do 1.5 ounces of vodka. And these both should come out to be very similar in total volume. Next on our list is going to be our peach schnapps, the ever reliable Dick Hyper. In our basic, we're going to do 1 ounce peach schnapps. And in our extra, we are going to do what I marked as kind of a heavy 1/2 ounce. Just a little over 1/2 ounce. Next up, we have our orange juice. I did not have any fresh oranges, so we're just going to go with simply. It's not from concentrate, and there's nothing else added to it, so I think this is a pretty good idea in a cocktail if you don't have fresh. So in this case, we are going to do 2 ounces of OJ. Basic, we're going to do 1 ounce of OJ. And if you're wondering why I'm switching switching jiggers for each cocktail, there's going to be a couple of extra ingredients in this one that aren't in this one, and it just seems like the right way to do it to me. Okay, next we have a cranberry juice. In our basic cocktail, we are going to add 2 ounces. And in our extra, we are just going to add 1 ounce. Now our basic cocktail here is finished, but what we're going to do is we're going to add 1 ounce of pineapple juice. And this actually is fresh squeezed pineapple juice. And finally, the ingredient you'll kind of find on most of the elevated to some degree version of this cocktail is Chambord. And so in this case, we are just going to go ahead and toss in just 1/2 ounce of Chambord. Now that we've got all the ingredients in, we're going to grab some ice and toss them in our shakers. Okay, so got the basic on our left here, and the elevated on our right. Let's give each of those a good shake. going to go ahead and double strain these. Now, if you want to do this into a tiki mug and just free pour, you can do that too. But, as we've discussed before, I don't really like to do that. That is a very peach color. Alright, good for our other, which we're, for the sake of argument, calling elevated. Actually, very similar in color. And as you can see, even with the variation in ingredients, we have a similarly volumed cocktail. So I think we'll go ahead and start off basic and see what we think of that. It's nice. This isn't gonna win any cocktail competitions, but it is unobtrusive, it is fruity. It's fairly flavorful. That's not a bad cocktail. I think it's probably a little sweeter than it probably should be just because of all the sweet ingredients that are in there. But not bad. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed in that in a bar. And let's try our other Sex on the Beach. This is strange. I don't really like this that much. It's a little better on the second sip. The problem with this cocktail is sort of what you get with some things where you toss a bunch of things in and it kind of feels like there's a car wreck going on in your mouth. There's no bad flavors here. You're not going to hate this. But it's like the pineapple does not feel like it should be in this. The Chambord is almost entirely lost. Yeah, that's kind of... Again, not what I would call bad. It's very muddled. It doesn't feel like it's sort of cohesive. Back to basics. Everything's working together. You've got your schnapps, your peach flavor specifically in the schnapps. You know, working with the OJ and the cranberry. The vodka, obviously, you're not getting it all, except on the alcohol. Yeah, it's funny. I was sort of looking forward to trying the more, again, I hesitate to say elevated because I don't know if you can elevate the Sex on the Beach too much. But I was looking forward to trying this one. And no, I think I just have the basic. And on that bombshell, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good drink, and have a good day. Lots of shit to cut.